High School. During his career, his teams have won 10 FHSAA district championships and finished second several times. He has coached 50 FHSAA state qualifiers, 19 state place winners, 5 state finalists, and 2 state champions. His teams have earned 348 wins versus 150 losses. Congratulations, David. His presenter is Mr. Anthony Saunders.
First of all, I want to thank the National Wrestling Hall of Fame for the great honor of being recognized for serving the sport of wrestling, and the Florida chapter of the Hall of Fame for nominating me to receive the Lifetime Service to Wrestling Award. I'm proud to be joining the Florida chapter of the Wrestling Hall of Fame, along with the 2016 inductees. I'm honored to have so many Miami Springs wrestlers and fans along with everyone else that traveled throughout the whole state of Florida and throughout the whole United States to attend. I'm especially privileged to have my parents and a lot of family members in attendance. My parents just celebrated their 65th wedding anniversary. Back in 1983, year Dan Marino started with the Miami Dolphins. Mr. Barrows, the principal of Miami Springs Senior High School, called me up to Minnesota and asked if I could come to Miami for a job interview. Well, my sister Lori was getting married that weekend to Gary, so the next day I jumped in my 1969 Chevy van and I started my journey to Miami. When I arrived, Mr. Bales told me I need a metal shop teacher and a wrestling coach. Well, I was a wood shop teacher, and the only thing I had ever coached was my younger brother Scott's flag football team. However, Minnesota's a pretty big sport in wrestling. They elected Jesse Ventura their governor. Right. And I did have 7 brothers that wrestled. I just drove 1,700 miles. I needed a job, and Mr. Bales hired me. Fortunately, when I arrived, Coach Mathis was already working with the team. Shortly after, Coach Flincham came in and got the middle school going, along with Coach Ruiz. Coach Anthony Saunders came in as my assistant, and he is my longest-term assistant. Most of my other assistants are former Springs wrestlers, like my current assistant, Richard Garcia. And a couple of standouts, Edwin Tinoco and Joel Duran. I was also privileged to have Mr. Dan Muller as a school trainer for 32 years. Just as I started the journey from Minnesota, each of these wrestlers also started the journey. Some of you heard Demetrius Burke's compelling story this morning, how when he was in 9th grade, his mother passed away. The church across from his house had just burned down. He lived in a pretty bad neighborhood and a really run-down house. But despite the challenges, he worked hard, he was dedicated, and today he owns his own construction company building brand new houses up in Tallahassee. Or Raymond Zone, who spoke this morning. The story goes